This is Peter over here and Christopher. Ready, guys?
Up, up, up. Who's gonna knock it down? Jessica, you wanna knock it down? Uh-oh.
What'd you do?
What'd you do? Shake, 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 shake.
Come on, smile. Smile.
Look at mommy. Look at mommy. Say mommy.
When a child is born profoundly deaf, the concern is that the child's language development, learning how to speak, articulation, and thought processes will be affected. And we know that children who are not detected early at birth develop a language delay, and that language delay can be devastating to education. We think that there will have to be some delay, but we hope that by doing an implant very early on, that delay will be minimized. The real benefit of a cochlear implant is language acquisition. So what we wanted to do was, in these families where there was one twin that was born hearing and one twin that was born profoundly deaf, our goal was to see if by doing a very early implantation, 1 year of age, whether we would be able to avoid any language delay at all in the deaf child. Now, since both children have the same parenting, both children are in the same environment, both children are not identical, obviously. One is deaf and the other isn't. But there are a lot of factors that are controlled in doing it within a family.
I'm going to connect up the external transmitter here. It's just going to stick right on. Put this right here, hopefully. There we go. Even though you've waited a long time for this, and he's waited a long time, his ears were just born today. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, go. Hi.
Yes. The first 3 tones that they put in, she whipped her head around. So we knew that it was working. That was very exciting.
She did cry at some of the different frequencies, and she did, stop what she was doing or look up. When we left the office, which was in Manhattan, we had to walk to our car, which was a couple of blocks away, and all the noise of the trucks and just the city noise, her eyes were like wide open. They were like, bulging out of her head. She wasn't afraid, she wasn't crying, she was just very curious as to what was going on.
You copying Daddy? You hear Daddy? Yeah. You hear Daddy? What'd you do for Daddy? That a boy.
A child who gets a cochlear implant has a very special device, whereas a hearing aid takes sounds and makes the eardrum vibrate at a greater volume, and that will stimulate any remaining hair cells. When a child is deaf, generally the hair cells are missing, but the nerves still work. So what we do surgically is we implant an electrode into the snail-like portion of the inner ear where the nerve endings are. And the way a cochlear implant works is that you get a microphone that's worn above the ear. It picks up a signal. The signal is then transmitted through the intact skin to an internal receiver unit. That internal receiver unit then takes the electrical signal and transmits it through the electrode into the cochlea to stimulate the nerve endings. So what the child really gets is an electric type of hearing that corresponds to speech.
Jessica, you want more? More. Say more. You have to ask for more. We heard that it wasn't a cure, that it does allow the child to hear. Basically, we thought that for our family, we were all hearing people, that we wanted our child to be able to hear and to live a normal life like her twin sister. We knew that if she can go to school, mainstream with her sister, and go to college like any other normal child, that's what our goal was. And we knew with the cochlear implant that that was definitely a very strong possibility. You want to open up the box? We're going to play knock, knock, knock. Ready? Knock, knock, knock. Open. Give some to Jessica. Jessica, you want to do knock, knock, knock? Knock, knock, knock. Oh, you got to knock first. Ready? Knock, knock, knock. Jessica. Say open.
Hi there. Okay, they're 14 months. What is he doing in terms of words?
He says, hi, mommy, daddy, bye-bye, Emily, up. And I think that's about it.
Say up, but he'll shout and vocalize to get your attention.
All the
Both
time.
of them will?
Yeah.
Which consonants does Christopher use when he's babbling or talking? Yeah.
Yeah, some of it. Say hi. Hi, come on. You know how to say hi. Say hi. Say hi, Peter. You know how to say hi. Say hi.
Hi, good
Good
job.
boy.
Does it make nice to Jess?
No?
You know, she's just gotten turned on 2 months ago, and already she's starting to understand some of the commands that I'm giving her. You know, we're going to go bye-bye in the car. Do you want to go bye-bye? And, like, right away she knows that it's time to, like, to get your coat on and, you know, that she'll head towards the door or things like that.
All right, come this way. Come.
What do we got? The bubbles. We have the bubbles. Ready? Here. Blow. Got the bubbles.
When you set a cochlear implant, it's really important to get very good estimated threshold and comfort levels for each of the electrodes. For an infant, that's impossible to do because the child is not capable of giving you that information. And so, neural response telemetry, or NRT, lets us measure that response directly from the cochlea so that the child just has to sit there and the responses are obtained through the computer. So it's an objective measure without having to have the cooperation of the child. That lets us set the device better earlier so the child gets better sound and can begin the process of learning to listen and develop language.
2, 3. Hi. Hello. What was that? Say, Pat, what did you do to me?
My favorite thing that I've noticed about Jessica is when we turn it on in the morning. It's incredible. It's almost like you throw a switch because she's sitting there doing nothing, and I'll turn the switch on the processor and she just starts talking. I mean, not only have you turned on her hearing, but she just starts, just all of a sudden, she's been saying nothing and then just starts verbalizing the minute I press the button.
How many words does he have, and what are they?
Bye-bye, obviously. Mommy, daddy. When he feels like it empty. He said Peter a couple times today. He'll say baby. Says no.
Up, down,
Nanny.
doggy,
No.
any animal sounds, moo, meow.
Yeah, he'll imitate everything that you do. He can imitate.
But if he sees a dog, you wouldn't hear him doing arf, arf, or woof, woof,
No.
or other words. In, out,
No.
eat.
No.
Okay, so those are the basic words. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Like
8,
10.
9. We have
Yeah.
about 10 words.
Wakaka?
Huh?
Oh.
Good girl. Okay. Can you do it? Good girl. Ooh.
That's a good one.
Whoa. Whoa.
At this point in time, Peter has shown a remarkable amount of growth, both in his auditory perception and in his speech and language ability.
What's that? Ball? Ooh. Wait, listen. Throw the ball. Throw the ball.
The audiologists who work with very young children are particularly gifted in being charming and in being able to relate to those kids. And one of the ways they do this is by making a game, so that if a child hears a beep, they drop an object into a bucket, and everybody applauds and makes them feel like they've really accomplished something great.
Are you going to throw me the ball?
You definitely do see the difference between the two of them. And what the difficult part now is, because they're twins, is that now Christopher has assumed the role of being Peter's interpreter. So Peter has kind of gotten a little lazy by saying, Christopher knows what I want, so I don't even have to ask for it anymore.
Go, 2, 3.
The latest programs that we're getting have just been phenomenal. She's making sounds that we've never heard. We're starting to hear some consonant sounds. She's making clear vowel sounds, ahs and You know, she always kind of made a sound for pretty much everything. So it's definitely working.
Hey, buddy. I know, what is that? That's Amy. Ball. Yes. Ball. Good job.
I was looking for Christopher.
Christopher. Oh. Christopher.
They play ball.
He's sleeping. Oh, they do. Christopher's sleeping. Ice cream cone. Yes. Good job. Okay, now, Peter, where's... Right, yes.
Ice cream cone.
Yes, yummy. Good for you.
It's a lot of work.
Can I have a turn?
They prepared us and they told us that it would be a lot of work. I think we emphasize more on Peter because we want him to make that next leap. Whereas Christopher, it just came naturally, as it would any other child. It would come naturally, and you wouldn't have to work with him. But with Peter, we sit there and instead of saying, Peter, are you 2 years old? We'll say, Peter, are you 3? To get him to say, no, I'm 2. And we're waiting for the day that he'll turn around and go, no, I'm 2.
Say up.
He knows this information, but to access it is very frustrating for us because we know he's got it, but we just want him to say it already.
Peter, where's your nose?
Good job. Peter, show me your ears.
And your shoes?
Where's your shoes?
Where's your shoes? Where's your nose?
Yeah.
Where's your mouth? Where's your ears?
Yeah.
Where's your hair?
Yeah.
Where's your shoes?
Cheers.
Where's your shirt?
Fish.
Good job.
You're so smart. Ask her, say, what are we going to do now?
No one knows.
Okay, Christopher, you say the same thing.
What?
Say the same word.
You copy Amy.
Ball.
Oh.
Airplane.
Happy.
Fish.
Bush.
Pencil.
Apple.
Water.
Water.
Toothbrush.
Brush.
Popcorn.
Papa.
Christopher.
Here.
Good for you.
Papa.
Peter, find the car. Where's the car?
Papa.
What are you looking for? Where's the
Okay.
car?
Good girl.
What, you want the ball back?
Go.
Okay. Can you find the car? Where's the car? There it is. Where's the ball? Get the ball. Where's the ball?
Baby.
Where's the ball?
Papa.
Yeah, there it is. Where's the stop? Can I have the brush? Give me the brush. Good boy.
Speech therapy and auditory training are essential parts of educating a child with a cochlear implant.
Okay.
One can think of speech therapy as a mother working with a child and repeating something to try to get the child to focus on what they're saying.
Uh-oh.
What?
Do you want to die? You need that choo-choo?
That's the choo-choo. That's right.
You put it on?
You want to get the baby dressed? You want to get the baby dressed?
Shoe.
Want to put the baby shoes on? Oh, I know what we should do to the baby. Here, what should we do, Jessica?
over here.
What should we do? What is that? What is that? Where's the other shoe? Can you get Mommy the other shoe? Where is the other shoe? Is it in the basket?
Yes.
Can you find it for me?
A child's auditory environment has to be enriched.
Brush the teeth?
The child has to be spoken to. A good number of hours a day has to be spent in normal activities, but in which the parent really uses their voice and articulates things to the child.
I'm gonna go in in Jean Marie's room. Snap. Ooh, good girl, I heard you. Snap. Yes, I heard you. All right, you ready? I'm gonna push. Puh, puh, puh. Good girl, Jessica. I'm gonna push. Push. Push my chair. Your chair. Your chair. Whee! Ooh. You see my yellow bag? Yellow. Listen.
Hello.
Good girl. Yellow bag. Should we open the bag?
Open that.
Good girl. Look, we have to get the zipper. The zipper. We're gonna pull. Listen, listen, Jessica, listen.
Pull.
Yes. Pull. Pull, pull, pull the zipper. Oh, Jessica, we have to take some things out. There are a lot of clothes.
It's a
Good girl. A blue, Jessica, a blue sock. A blue.
sock.
Good, we need more. Do you want more socks? Oh, I have more for you. Good, the jacket out. Pull, pull, pull. Pull, pull, pull. The jacket. Jessica, a blue jacket. A blue jacket, good girl.
Jessica gets a ton of speech therapy. We have a private speech therapist that specializes in implanted children that she goes to once a week. She goes to the BOCES program in Bethpage.
At school, she sees a speech therapist for a half hour and then a teacher. And basically what they do is they try to use everyday life experiences in play to incorporate language.
Yellow. Put it on top. One more. Purple.
Come on.
Mine. Good girl. Yellow.
No.
No. Put it on top.
They really push her very hard and they expect a lot more from her than her age really would enable her to do. And I think that that's a very positive thing.
As time passes, children who initially will say 1 or 2 words will then say many words, and we can measure the size of the vocabulary. We can also see how the child puts words together. Bad boy, I am a bad boy. That's 2 distinctly different phrases. And as a child's speech becomes more sophisticated, they begin to use not single words, not 2 words put together, but common sentences and phrases.
Peter, where's Daddy? He's not at work. Daddy's coming. He's coming. Say, Daddy, where are you? Peter, where's Grandma?
Papa.
Grandpa, where's Grandpa?
Home.
Home, that's right. Good boy.
Peter, say quack, quack.
Papa.
Christopher, give Peter the ducks.
Here's
Peter, what do you say? Say thank you to Christopher.
What is that? What's that? A duck?
Look.
Where are you going?
Mommy.
No, you stay. You know what, Christopher? Stay by Daddy. Come here. Close the door.
Mommy. Mommy.
Mommy's outside. Peter,
Mommy.
you want to go by Mommy?
Yes.
Where's Mommy?
Okay.
Right there. Where? Hey. Peter, what's this? Is that trees?
Cheese.
Trees. Good boy. Is that a boat?
Look.
Good boy.
Look. Look.
Is that hair?
Yeah.
What is that? Snake? Is that a snake?
It's that.
Snake?
Okay.
Frog?
Bug.
Peter, look. Look at Daddy. Peter. Peter. Frog?
Apple.
Telephone. Good boy. Hi, Grandpa. Want to speak to Peter? You do?
Yeah.
Hold on. Say hi.
I.
Say I love you, Grandpa.
Papa.
Say love you.
Yeah.
Say love you.
I.
Say I love you. Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
He can form 2 to 3 word sentences now. Not as spontaneous as we would like it to be, but it's slowly coming out, whereas Christopher has made a huge leap in his language abilities as well. He can now say sentences, and it's really snowballed to the effect where I think Peter's slowly catching on.
Who's it is?
A miraculous thing I can tell you is that Chris was on a business trip 2 weeks ago in California, and Peter spoke to him on the phone, and he understood his father on the phone.
Open the crack. How do you ask? You gotta pull it really hard. Ready? 1. We did it! Are you climbing?
Climbing.
Climbing up? Climbing over? I'm gonna go over.
Okay, Mommy.
I'm helping. Oh, you did it.
Hi, Mommy.
Hi, you're up there. She's going to be 3 in the fall. And we decided to send her to camp with her twin sister next summer instead of staying at BOCES. She'll get socialization skills and not have an academic environment so that maybe she can learn how to fit in with the hearing peers before we actually mainstream her. And our goal is to mainstream her when she's 4. We want her to go to preschool before she goes to kindergarten, and then she'll mainstream kindergarten. How do you ask?
Please.
She's communicating very well with everybody in her family. She's communicating well with her sisters. Even when we go to public places, she seems to be very social. Leaf. That's right. It's a leaf. It's a dead leaf. It's all crunchy. Hear it? It's all crunchy. I really feel like she fits in, and I don't think she believes that there's anything wrong with herself. I think that she fits in really well.
More. More leaves.
Find more leaves? Here you go. Jess, say goodbye to the park.
Bye-bye, park.
Say, Tom, say goodbye to the park.
Bye-bye, park.
In following the 2 sets of twins, we see a large difference between this set and the other set that we're looking at. First, the other set are girls, and girls notoriously will speak earlier and better than boys. That's just a known fact in the literature. Also, remember that the girls were not premature, they were full-term babies. Jessica, who started out with the larger delay because she was the child who received the implant, is now only within a few months of her sister's abilities, so that she has caught up to where her sister is much quicker.
I
Do what? You want to cut it yourself?
No.
Cut it yourself?
I want to cut it myself, too.
You do?
I want a knife, too.
But what if you cut your finger off? You can't hold a knife. No knife for Jessica.
Holly.
No knife.
Me?
You can hold the fork.
I want a knife. Mama. I want to cut my pizza.
Okay, I'll cut it and you can eat it with the fork.
No, I want to cut it.
But you hurt your finger with the knife.
No, not.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will.
No.
I'll help you.
I want one.
That's good.
I want that one.
You want this one?
Yeah,
Right.
I want
Wait, Jessica.
this one.
I do it. You can do the next one. This is for Rachel. Okay, Jess, you want to pour the next one?
Four.
Good job. Stop. You want to put another top? All right. You want to do the straw?
Pizza.
Okay. And the name here. I got it. Okay.
That's mine. That one is Jessica.
You want to do a pump?
Can I make another one?
Good. Keep going. Okay.
It's my turn.
Your turn what? You want to let the air out?
Where's my turn?
You want me to tie a knot?
No,
You want to hold it?
I'll hold it.
But the air's going to come out if you don't hold there. Should I tie a knot?
No,
No knot? It's going to come out.
don't hold.
I have to hold the balloon and this, otherwise the air won't come out. No, I have to hold. You hold here.
Yes.
Let's make you a purple.
I want to pick it out.
Okay,
Where's the purple?
right here. You gonna sing happy birthday, Jessica and Rachel? Come on. We're gonna go sing happy birthday. Come on. Who's Christopher? I don't know. I don't know either. Call Christopher. Call Christopher. Happy birthday, Rachel. Happy birthday to you.
Peter. Look at that. What is that? It's a bee. He has far exceeded my expectations. I can go to another room and call him, and he comes running. There's times we can kick ourselves in the car when he's just singing along, and we're like, shut up already, because he just doesn't shut up.
My daughter can hear when the microwave beeps, when the doorbell rings, when the phone rings, she picks up the phone and says hello. And a deaf child without hearing aids or an implant cannot do that. Eventually she'll be living on her own and hopefully be going to college. And I don't want her to have to rely on having somebody following her around wherever she goes, or having me to be there with her every second of the day. And I think, to give her as much independence as possible, as young an age as possible, I think that's the best thing I could do for her.
Very nice. Christopher,
What?
what's an apple?
An apple.
What is it? Yes, it is.
Tell him what's an apple.
An evening.
Your shoes.
The hat.
No, it's a hat.
And the ear. Peekaboo.
Peekaboo, I see you. Is that a bed?
It's too big.
It's too big. He can hardly eat it. Where's the dog? Yum.
It's little.
It's little too. Where's the knife?
And the bells.
Ah, good.